Hey, what's up, guys? I'm glad you're here. I really am. You know, I put my heart and soul into this course, and right now I'm recording this video after I went through, I made the whole thing in one shot, and I've put massive amounts of study and time. You know, this has been a labor of love, and in creation for about the last 10 years, but really significantly about the last 2 months, I've put a lot of time into creating this. If you have felt alone, if you have been, you know, if your sanity has been questioned by the people closest to you, or friends, you know, or relatives, if you felt frustrated in the direction that we're going as a planet, you know, and what it looks like, then this course is designed for you. You know, the whole reason for this course is to help people who, you know, want to move from wanting to doing. Meaning that, you know, in the journey of awakening, we end up in places where we decide that we want to make an impact, or we want to see change, we want to see evolution, because we see what's possible. We see through, we pierce the veil. We pierce through the veil. The illusion. We pierce through the illusion, and we see the other side. And we just want other people to see through the illusion as well, right? So, Plato said something that I thought applied to this moment. He said, "Those who are able to see beyond the shadows and the lies of their culture will never be understood, let alone believed by the masses." And if you have been through the awakening path, then you know that that's probably partially correct. I guess the big question is, are you ready to take part in the unfolding story of our evolution? Are you the kind of person that wants to make an impact, leave a legacy, inspire other people? Are you just looking at how to become more effective? When I was a kid, 4 and 5, we had this farm in Nevada. It was out in this area called Duck Flats. It was about as boring as what the name implies, except it was 150 miles from Area 51. It was 60 miles to the nearest town, which meant that we were like all alone, all alone out there. And at nights, it was perfectly clear. So, I mean, it was pretty rugged lifestyle out there. So at nighttime, we'd eat dinner around the fire. So we'd have onions wrapped in tinfoil cooking in the coals, you know, roasting hot dogs or whatever. But there was something that started happening that really kind of changed our perspective of life. And as a young kid, it really impacted me on a deep level, not just a conscious level. But at nights, we would see lights in the sky that were apparently intelligently controlled, and they would fly in extremely erratic, crazy ways that no aircraft known to modern civilization could fly. Meaning that they would be flying at a tremendous speed and take an immediate right angle turn. Or they would stop, and from a dead stop, just blast off at unimaginable speeds into the horizon. And this happened regularly, weekly. So in 2008, I remember I stumbled across this article. You know, I was just a normal guy. 2008, I was maybe a little less than normal. I was a bit of a rabble-rouser at that time, drinking more booze than I probably should have been, chasing women. But I started reading about these people who believed that there were intelligent alien civilizations off of our planet. And it kind of captivated me. I thought, really? There's people that really believe that? And there's all of this evidence that lines up, that shows that maybe it's true? And that started something. It was like somebody opened a dam, and suddenly all I wanted was information. All I wanted was to understand totally and completely what was happening with the world. So I dove deep. I dove real deep down the rabbit hole. You know how it goes. And next thing I know, I was wanting to share my information with other people because reality was splitting open. The paradigms and perceptions that I had instilled inside of me through education and life, my family values, all of that was being torn apart as I was realizing that this reality that we live in is not exactly what we've been shown or told. Is that truth is stranger than fiction. And I wanted to tell everybody. I wanted to wake everybody up to the fact that this world is so much different than what we thought it was. Well, I was surprised. I was really surprised when I started realizing that other people, they didn't want to hear what I was sharing. So I just did what anyone would do, is I kept talking. I started yelling louder. And then I started experiencing pushback and resistance from people, and I felt like people were just angry at me for trying to share information that was counter to the accepted narrative. And I started feeling alone. I started feeling angry. I started feeling like maybe I was losing it. And eventually it just got to the point where I just stopped sharing. But I did hit a really critical point in all this. And that was when I started asking myself one single question. It was, what can I do? That was it. That was what sparked a transformation inside of me. And suddenly it wasn't about the information that I was getting. It wasn't about releasing hidden technology onto the world and allowing us to evolve. It was about, what can I do? Now that I've gained all of this information, what good is that to me unless I do something with it? Maybe you've hit a similar point. Maybe that's why you're here. I have an extremely deep need and desire and want to help people heal, to help people bring their most authentic, powerful selves into this world. Ultimately, I believe that the change is not going to come from society outside. It'll come from within each one of us. And this process of awakening, this process of going through, finding out that all of our paradigms, could use a little shaking up and tuning up. It can be difficult, and it can be kind of scary, and it can be lonely, and it can be frustrating when we realize that not everyone else is on the same level. And I just want to help people who are there. I want to help you become the spear. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. What does it mean to become the spear? Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it? So in this whole training that we are going to be having here, I have a number of sections. And the main point why you guys should listen to all this is that each one of these is developed based upon over a decade of research. Deep research, guys, into how we work as a species, how we work as human beings, how we interrelate with each other. Communication patterns, how we can speak to inspire, what it takes to be a leader. How have leaders of our past really created impact? What have they done? What are the principles? What about people from like thousands of years ago? How did those leaders think? When they were faced between life and death and battles, carrying spears and swords. When we look at all of those, all of that wisdom is out there, and I try to bring it all together for you in this program. How to become the spear. Awakened warrior. Sounds dramatic, I know. That's for a reason. It's for a reason. So the main talking points of these sessions that are going to be coming up are facing the dark part of reality. What are the common frustrations of the awakened warrior? What are the most common traps for free thinkers and awakened warriors? Ooh. I've fallen into a few of them myself, let me tell you. What it takes to become unconquerable, mastering intelligent communication, emerging as the leader, and the one and only answer, what you should do when you finish this course and how to move forward. Guys, I put my heart and soul into this. Like I said, this has been a long time coming. So I hope that you get a lot from it. I can't wait to hear what you guys say. And as you're going through this, if you have questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Shoot me a message. All right, guys, let's get started.